Every video ever made about how to use AI in your daily life tells you the same three things. Write your emails, make funny pictures, summarize your meetings. And in 2024, that was the whole list. It's not 2024 anymore. This year, researchers analyzed almost 13,000 real examples of how people are actually using AI. Not how tech companies say you should, how people actually do. And the number one use case, it's not email, it's not even work, it's something most people won't admit to out loud. I'm counting down the 10 ways people are really using AI in 2026, backed by real data. Number 1 is going to make some of you uncomfortable. Let's go. Number 10, AI quietly replaced Google for a huge chunk of people, and most of them didn't even notice it happening. About 4 in 10 adults now say they use a chatbot just to look things up. Not to write anything, not to create anything. Just questions. What's this rash? How do I get a stain out of a couch? Is this email a scam? Here's why that matters. Search gives you 10 blue links and makes finding the answer your problem. A chatbot just answers, and once your brain gets used to skipping the 10 links step, you don't go back. If the only thing you've ever done with AI is ask it questions, congratulations, you're already using it like most of America. But you're also only at number 10. It gets a lot weirder from here. Number 9, trip planning, but not the way the 2024 videos showed it. The old advice was, ask ChatGPT for an itinerary. Cute. What people do now is hand over the whole mess. Here's my budget, here are my dates, my kid gets car sick, my mum can't do stairs, and I refuse to wake up before 8. Build me the trip. That's the difference between 2024 AI and 2026 AI in one example. Back then you got a generic list of tourist stops copied from a blog. Now it juggles your actual constraints, all of them at once, which is the part of trip planning that used to eat an entire weekend. The pattern to steal here. Stop asking AI for ideas and start giving it your restrictions. The restrictions are where the magic is. Remember that. Because it's about to show up again at number 6. Number 8. People are asking AI the money questions they're too embarrassed to ask a human. Answering financial questions is now one of the most common consumer uses of AI, right up there with texts and travel. What's an index fund, actually? Is my car loan bad? Why is my paycheck smaller than my salary says it should be? And it makes sense. A chatbot doesn't judge you for not knowing something you feel like you were supposed to learn at 22. There's no awkward sales pitch at the end. You can ask the dumb follow-up question 5 times. Now, the obvious warning, AI gets financial details wrong, and it doesn't know your full situation. So it's a tutor, not an advisor. Use it to finally understand the thing. Don't use it to pick the thing. Okay, everything so far an honest 2024 video could have half predicted. The next 7 could not have existed a year and a half ago. Starting with the one hiding inside your shopping cart. Number 7. AI is now the middleman in what you buy, and over half of shoppers are letting it happen on purpose. 53% of consumers say they've bought something based on an AI recommendation. Not an ad. Not an influencer. They asked an AI, what's the best air purifier under $100 for a house with 2 dogs, and then bought what it said. Think about what that replaced. It replaced 45 minutes of tabs, review sites that are secretly ads. That one Reddit thread from 2019 you always end up on. People aren't trusting AI because it's perfect. They're trusting it because the old way of researching purchases had already gotten that bad. One tip, if you do this, always ask what's the case against this one before you buy. Forcing the counter-argument is the fastest way to catch a lazy recommendation. Number 6. Health questions, at a scale that's honestly hard to picture. AI assistants are now fielding over 50 million health questions every single day. 50 million. Daily. That's not a niche behaviour. That's one of the largest health information channels on the planet, and it barely existed 3 years ago. And people aren't just asking, what is a migraine? They're doing the restriction trick from number 9. Here are my symptoms. Here's my medication. Here's what my doctor said last visit. Help me understand what questions I should ask at my next one. That last part is the actual unlock. AI shouldn't diagnose you. It misses things, and it can't examine you. But as a translator between you and your doctor, explain this lab result like I'm not a doctor might be the single most life-improving prompt of 2026. 10 minutes of prep turns a rushed appointment into a real conversation. Number 5, and this is where the 2024 playbook officially dies. Microsoft analysed over 100,000 real workplace AI conversations this year. The number one thing people used AI for at work: not writing emails, not meeting notes, not slides. Decision making: 28% of all workplace AI activity. Bigger than documentation, scheduling, and admin work combined. People are using AI to weigh options. Should we go with vendor A or vendor B? Here are 3 ways to structure this project. Poke holes in each one. What am I not seeing? Every 2024 video told you AI was your intern. Good for grunt's work, keep it away from the important stuff. The data says people flipped that within a year. They kept the important thinking for the AI conversation and automated the grunt work around it. And some people took that idea so far they're hiding it from their bosses. Number 4, shadow AI. The stuff people are running at work without telling anyone. Researchers found this pattern everywhere. Employees quietly using AI because company policy is vague or banned it, or because they're worried it looks like cheating. My favourite case from the study: a developer proposed automating part of his job. Management said no, so he built it anyway, automated roughly half his own workload, and told absolutely no one. Half his job, silently. I'm not telling you to violate your company's policy. Don't. But here's the honest takeaway. The AI transformation at most companies isn't coming from the top. It's already happening one desk at a time, invisibly. The people learning these tools quietly right now are going to look like wizards in 2 years. The people waiting for official training will be trained by them. Number 3, this is the one that separates 2026 from every year before it. People stopped asking AI for instructions and started handing it the task. The 2024 version: give me the steps to plan my week. You get a list, you do the list. The 2026 version: the AI opens the calendar, reads the emails, drafts the replies, books the thing, and reports back when it's done. Same goal, except you're not the one doing it anymore. They're called agents, and they went from tech demo to normal person tool this year. People are using them to research and book travel, fill out forms, organize files, compare prices across a dozen sites. The errand layer of the internet. Here's the mental shift, and it's the biggest one in this whole video. Stop treating AI like a smart person you ask questions, and start treating it like a capable person you delegate to. The question people asked in 2024 was, what can AI tell me? The question in 2026 is, what can AI handle for me? Those are different technologies. Most people are still using the first one. So if agents are number 3, what on earth beats delegation? The last 2 aren't about productivity at all, and number 1 is the most human thing on this list. Number 2, pure, unapologetic nonsense. In that 13,000 case study, the third biggest use of AI by volume had no productive purpose whatsoever. Researchers literally categorized it as fun and nonsense, settling dinner table debates, making the family dog into a Renaissance painting, writing a rap battle between the dishwasher and the microwave, asking increasingly ridiculous hypotheticals at 1 a.m. And I think the productivity guru crowd completely misreads this. The play is not the waste. The play is the training. Every ridiculous request teaches you what these tools can and can't do, with 0 stakes. The person who spent an evening making their cat into a medieval knight is the same person who confidently delegates real work 6 months later. They practiced. So no, messing around with AI isn't falling behind, it's the on-ramp. Number 1, the single biggest way people use AI in 2026 by volume for the second year running is therapy and emotional support. Not coding, not content, not work at all. Talking through a fight with their spouse at midnight. Untangling why a comment from their boss stung so much. Processing grief. Rehearsing a hard conversation before having it for real. It more than doubled its share of all AI usage this year. Some of you just cringed, and I get it. But sit with why it's number 1. It's available at 2 a.m. when the feelings actually show up. It never gets tired of the same problem. It costs nothing. And for a lot of people, the honest alternative wasn't a therapist, it was nobody. Now the real talk, an AI is not a therapist. It can't truly know you. It can agree with you too easily. And if you're genuinely struggling, a real human professional matters in ways software can't touch. The healthiest version of this I've seen is using AI to find words for what you're feeling, and then taking those words to actual humans. but the number one use case on earth being someone to talk to? That tells you more about 2026 than any productivity statistic ever could. So look at what just happened to the list. The 2024 advice, emails, images, summaries barely survived in the top 10. The real list is decisions, delegation, health, money, play, and being heard. Here's the one thing to take with you. The gap in 2026 isn't between people who use AI and people who don't. It's between people asking it questions and people handing it work. Pick one thing this week, one errand, one decision, one thing you've been avoiding, and delegate it instead of Googling it. That's the whole shift. If this changed how you think about any of this, subscribing genuinely helps, and it tells me to make more like it. Drop the use case you won't admit to in the comments. I read all of them. See you in the next one.